Fifth chapter. Instructions to King Yudhishthira. Bhishma's passing away. Canto 1. As the Paramatma within Maharaja Yudhishthira's heart, Lord Krishna could have easily pacified him. Once again. As the Paramatma within Maharaja Yudhishthira's heart, Lord Krishna could have easily pacified him. Therefore, the reason why Yudhishthira remained unsatisfied after the battle at Kurukshetra was that Krishna wanted him to receive instructions from the dying grandfather Bhishma. In order to spread the fame of his pure devotee, Lord Krishna wanted Maharaja Yudhishthira to become pacified by Bhishma's instructions. Even though he had not been relieved of his grief by the words of others. In this way, Bhishma would become known as excelling all others in knowledge, even the Lord himself. Krishna knew of Bhishma's affection for the Pandavas, and so, to please him, he had King Yudhishthira lead a very royal procession to the battlefield so that the grandsire could see him in a happy and prosperous condition. Thus, while being accompanied by numerous Brahmanas such as Vyasa and Dhaumya, Lord Krishna and the Pandavas arrived at the place where Bhishma was lying on the battlefield upon a bed of arrows, surrounded by all the great Brahmarshis, Devarshis, and Rajarshis, including Narada, Shukdeva Goswami, and Parasurama. After getting down from their chariots, Lord Krishna and the Pandavas bowed before their grandfather. In turn, Bhishma, who was formerly one of the Vasus, received everyone graciously and then worshipped Lord Krishna with great reverence. Knowing full well his identity as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, upon seeing the Pandavas sorrowfully sitting in silence by his side, Bhishma became overwhelmed by feelings of affection, so that while addressing them, tears came to his eyes. Knowing Maharaja Yudhishthira to be very disturbed due to the great massacre that had taken place, Bhishma exclaimed, "Oh, what terrible injustices you good souls had to suffer, along with your mother! And yet, because you were protected by the Supreme Lord, the Brahmanas, and religious principles, you were saved in each instance. In my opinion, all that has transpired was enacted under the control of inevitable time, which acts as the instrument of the Supreme Lord and thus indicates his intention. Even the greatest philosophers cannot understand the plan of the God. Therefore, my dear Yudhishthira, instead of giving way to despondency, you should accept the will of the Lord and rule the helpless subjects as their appointed administrative head. Lord Krishna is the original Narayana, but since he is playing the part of a human being, we become bewildered by his actions. The Supreme Lord is equal to everyone, and yet, since I am his unflinching servitor, he has graciously appeared before me now at the time of death. May the Lord, in his four-armed form, whose beautifully smiling face is adorned with eyes that are as red as the rising sun, kindly stay before me at the moment of my passing away from this body." After Bhishma finished speaking, Maharaja Yudhishthira began to inquire from him about various religious principles. In response, Bhishma very elaborately described the duties outlined in the Varnashrama system, varieties of charity, the duties of women, and the path of salvation. Then, as he was speaking, the sun crossed over into the northern hemisphere, providing a highly auspicious time for leaving this mortal world. Thus, after having spoken on thousands of topics, Bhishma who was able to die at will due to the benediction of his father, fell silent as he withdrew his mind from all else and fixed his wide open eyes upon Lord Krishna, who was standing before him. By dint of his pure meditation, Bhishma's sensual activities ceased, and he became freed from the bodily pains caused by the arrow wounds, as well as all other inauspicious material conditions. As he prepared to quit his body, Bhishma prayed, "Let me now invest my thinking, feeling, and willing, which were for so long engaged in different subjects, unto the all-powerful Lord Sri Krishna. He is always self-satisfied, but sometimes, being the leader of the devotees, he enjoys transcendental pleasure by descending into the material world. May his supremely beautiful body, which attracts everyone within the three worlds, be the object of my complete attention, so that I can give up all desires for fruitive results." While driving Arjuna's chariot upon the battlefield at Kurukshetra, Lord Krishna's hair turned grey because of the dust that was raised by the hoofs of the horses, and because of his hard labor, beads of sweat moistened his face. He enjoyed all these bodily decorations, including the wounds inflicted by my sharp arrows. Indeed, such wounds were as pleasing to Krishna as the biting of his lovers while engaged in conjugal affairs. In obedience to Arjuna's command, Lord Krishna had entered the battlefield, and by his merciful glance he shortened the lifespan of the enemy warriors. Let my mind become fixed upon that Lord Sri Krishna. To fulfill my desire, the Lord sacrificed his own promise. After getting down from his chariot, he picked up a broken chariot wheel and rushed at me just like a lion attacks an elephant, and he unknowingly dropped his outer garment while running. Duryodhana had criticized me for being reluctant to kill Arjuna. I could not tolerate such an insult, and so I vowed to kill the Pandavas on the following day by employing 5 special arrows that I had kept for that purpose. The ever suspicious Duryodhana kept those arrows in his possession that night, just to ensure their safety. However, at Krishna's urging, Arjuna came to the Kaurava king, and after reminding him of his former promise of a benediction, took those 5 arrows. When I heard about Krishna's trick, I angrily vowed that he would have to violate his promise by taking up weapons, or else witness the death of his dear friend. The next day, when I proceeded to put Arjuna into great danger, Krishna was forced to pick up a broken chariot wheel to save him. Of course, with Lord Krishna upon his chariot, there was no possibility that Arjuna could have been killed. But because I had desired to make him break his promise, the Lord created such a situation. Indeed, Lord Krishna was very pleased by my chivalrous behavior. Although his body was smeared with blood due to the wounds caused by my sharp arrows. At the moment of death, let my concentration be upon Lord Krishna, who, as Parthasarathi, held a whip in his right hand and the reins in his left while carefully driving Arjuna's chariot. I was present during Maharaja Yudhishthira's Rajasuya sacrifice, when Lord Krishna was worshipped as the foremost personality. I always remember that incident just to keep my mind upon the Lord. Now, however, I am so fortunate to be able to meditate upon Lord Sri Krishna with full concentration, for he has so kindly come to stand before me at my last hour. In this way, Bhishma merged his mind, sight, and speech into Lord Krishna, and finally he became silent and his breathing stopped. Understanding that Bhishma had already gone back home, back to Godhead, everyone became silent like birds at the end of the day. Men and demigods sounded drums in Bhishma's honor, while showers of flowers fell from the sky. Maharaja Yudhishthira performed the funeral ceremonies, and then all of the sages departed after having worshipped and glorified Lord Sri Krishna. Maharaja Yudhishthira then returned to Hastinapura along with his brothers and Lord Krishna, and there he consoled his aged uncle and aunt Dhritarashtra and Gandhari.